Hi, so we are back, thankfully, for another video, for another review. And like in the last video, some of you all were kind enough to give me the feedback that there was an audio issue. So we are trying our best to fix it. Trust me, we are. Today we are talking about Farzi. Now, what do I say about Farzi? Farzi came out around in 10th of February 2023 in this month. So, okay, first of all, this is your sign to go watch Farzi. If you've not watched Farzi, click out of this video. Just do it. I know everyone who try to watch a series and then open their laptops or their phones and they're like, oh, we're just going to watch a comfort show and just skip this altogether. Don't do that. Go watch something new. Go entertain yourself. Go watch Farzi so that you can come back here later on and relate to this, or maybe not agree to this. It's fine. Speaking about Farzi, it's not going to be that long of a chat because it's not that debatable. I'm going to clear this off first of all. It's actually pretty good. It has been rated around 8.6 on 10 by IMDb, and I think it's perfect because it deserves the 8.6. Now the question is it as good as The Family Man? Now most of y'all, if y'all have watched The Family Man and if you know what I'm talking about, Family Man has also been directed by Raja and DK, and Farzi has also been directed by Raja and DK, and there is this fine connection between Farzi and The Family Man, which is, if you know this character of Chelaram, he's there in Farzi as well. This might be a spoiler, I don't know, but it's not that big of a spoiler, so we're fine. And it correlates to it as in, again, like there's raw in this as well, but not as in the entire raw. It's just like one cell working towards one problem, not the entire thing, right? So there is a correlation between The Family Man and Farzi. And if you have liked watching Family Man, this is not Family Man exactly, like obviously like the entire topic is different. This is based on counterfeit, and counterfeit is crime. So this is a crime thriller. We get it, like there has to be something that becomes like the entire motive of the series, and counterfeit is the motive of the series. So it might not be as entertaining as Family Man if that's what you want, but it is good. How? We'll discuss that. So beginning with it, we have three main characters. One is the main protagonist, though you can say like there are two protagonists, but we'll go with the one. One is Shahid Kapoor, and his character's name is Sunny, who is the one doing the counterfeit. Then there is Vijay Sethupathi, who is the policeman, and his character's name is Michael. Now he's the one who is chasing initially this villain, who is the antagonist, who is KK Menon, and he is playing the role of Mansoor Dalal, who is essentially the one, the king of counterfeit, like the character whom Michael is chasing or Vijay Sethupathi is chasing. Now, how does Shahid Kapoor wind up in all of this business? Like this raw person chasing KK Menon, and how does Shahid Kapoor fit into all of this? So we get a pretty good background on Shahid Kapoor's story. Now this series is essentially putting a question to the class barriers. Middle class people, they have a lot of struggles when it comes to money, and Shahid Kapoor has been shown as the perfect face of those problems. I would say that Shahid Kapoor has done a good justice to this role. He perfectly symbolizes all the fuss about middle class people not entirely fitting in the category of well-to-do financially people, and also not entirely to the people who are not that good financially, not that good financially off. So Shahid Kapoor has been shown to be a pretty good example of character, and he wants to make a difference in his life. There is an entire emotional tangent to it as well. He has his grandfather and his family business and all of that is there, and essentially he starts into this business out of a need. He doesn't do counterfeiting just because he can. He does it because there is a need. Like every character needs to have a motive for doing something, right? The perfect anti-hero, like you need a motive to become the anti-hero. The character story-wise was okay, it was good, it fit very well. Could have been a bit more lengthy as well. I feel like there could have been many more layers to Shahid Kapoor's characters that could have been explored. However, I'm not complaining. I was happy with it. I was happy with how it turned out to be. Michael, on the other hand, which is Vijay Sethupathi, he is my favorite in this whole series because the best part of it was he was not forced to become something he isn't. Like Vijay Sethupathi is essentially a South Indian actor. We know it. He's a god over there. But in Bollywood, usually when South actors are incorporated into Bollywood movies or Bollywood series, they are forced to change their persona according to the Bollywood needs. And I get it. You need to change yourself as an actor to fit the criteria and all of that. But Vijay Sethupathi character did not demand any of that. He was left as Vijay Sethupathi. Sometimes if I have to recall Vijay Sethupathi, I might even recall him as Michael and not as Vijay Sethupathi. When your character becomes more relevant as your personality rather than your own. So Vijay Sethupathi doesn't, his Hindi isn't up to the mark, and his character doesn't force himself to be really fluent in Hindi or any such thing. He has his own personal background as well. He's going through a divorce, his kid, in the custody of your kid and all of that, he's going through all of that. At the same time, he's also shown to be on the same side of the story, but also to be an advocate of you can always choose better. He is also kind of facing, not similar, but on some level he's also going through similar emotional pain, hurt and circumstances as Shahid Kapoor is. But he chooses to not fall into that trap of doing the things which are not essentially politically correct or morally correct, But Shahid Kapoor has, is that entire category of society who then what's the harm in doing, a little bit of counterfeit, or like trying your hand at something that might provide you more comfort as compared to what you are given naturally in this lifetime. He is essentially an artist, Shahid Kapoor's character. So he's a painter, and that provides an artistic touch to his counterfeit. Like he's not the one who is doing all of the business part that comes with counterfeit, selling your fake currency or whatever. That is done by another character, Bhuvan Arora, who plays the role of Feroz, who is the sidekick / best friend / the perfect, the Viru to Shahid Kapoor's Jay. I loved Feroz, the character Feroz. I loved it. Bhuvan Arora did such a great job playing Feroz. He was the comic element, emotional element, and the action element at the same time on some scenes, and I loved that. He was catching up on all the essence, all that was needed to build up his character. He did a great job, and he's so underrated as well. I love underrated actors coming on screen and doing justice to their roles. The emotional build-up of Sunny and Feroz, which is Shahid Kapoor and Bhuvan's character, was far better than any other duo that I saw in this entire series, because these two guys have been friends since they were kids in this series, and they have a common history, and essentially their bond is not of blood or by being a family or anything. They were chosen family, and I love how they have shown that some people can remain loyal throughout your crap, even though Bhuvan's character was shown to have conflicting interests. in the bigger picture when this series was unfolding. Like his character would question Sunny, like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like, this is not entirely what we were supposed to be doing. But at the same time, it shows that quality of character where you can question someone and still not give up on them. You know, you understand why someone is doing something, and you might not completely agree with it, but at the same time, that doesn't mean, you know, betray them or just desert them, which is a very common facet which comes into Bollywood stories at times, where it's like the person who betrays you is someone very close to you, and apparently the one with whom you started the plan in the first place. It doesn't always have to be like that, you know, because in real life it doesn't happen like that. So that was the best about Feroz and Sunny's dynamic. Another part which I loved in the story was how real it was. There were like very little moments, like, you know, a very chill moment where Michael, Vijay's character, they're all sitting with his subordinates having lunch or dinner or something, and the conversation is so real. Like, I could picture that conversation happening in like a table beside me if I went to a cafe or a restaurant. Like, yeah, that could happen. That is something, that is how people talk. Like, excellent dialogues, excellent story, excellent character description. The pace of the story was also very well placed. It was not rushed, it was not slow. It was perfect, as crime thrillers should be. It built up the suspense, but it did not, like, you know, kept the audience in the suspense for too long. It was also giving that constant feed of satisfaction of like, oh, the suspense builds up and then you get the climax. Then the suspense builds up, then you get the climax. Like, it was good. Like, in every episode, it was good. There was cat and a mouse dynamic to Michael and Sunny, which builds up the suspense very good and which leads to a very good climax moment as well, which I loved. Like, the writing part of it was great. And coming to the female roles, let me just check the name. So Megha Vyas is a character played by Rashi Khanna in this series. She's essentially a worker of RBI. She works in RBI and has been looking into the counterfeit and all of that. It's her passion. We get it. We are shown like Megha is passionate about it, and she is basically the catalyst between the protagonist and the antagonist and how they come together. And at the same time, she's like that bridge between the right and wrong. Like, she provides that bridge for the police to catch the one who's, you know, doing counterfeit or like going against law. Like, she becomes that bridge. However, it was fine till it was that, but the motive which they gave Rashi's character, which is Megha, the motive which they gave Megha to become that bridge seemed very like, you know, fake, and seemed very weak, because I didn't get, like, there was this whole romantic plot that came into the whole scenario, and I did not quite agree with it. Like, it could have been, I don't know, maybe not prioritized. Like, you know, it just didn't feel very necessary on some points. Like, apart from that, I agree with it. I agree how Megha's character built it up and how she could see some things. Like, it would have been much more interesting if it was Megha who found out about Sunny doing this, rather than Michael being the one who, you know, finding out about it, and Megha is just another character who somehow ties up to the entire story. Even though I think there's going to be, if there is a season 2, which I hope there is, I've not checked into it, but I guess there should be. If there is a season 2, I would totally understand like how the writers would elaborate on Megha's character and the Sunny's character and their story, because when the ending, if I have to give a little hint of it, not a spoiler, please calm down. If I have to give a little hint at it, Megha's character is shown to be, you know, at the bridge of discovering that Sunny is the one who she has been chasing all along, and she realizes, like, you know, I can picture her realizing and, you know, going into shock that, oh my god, like, he was the one who was behind all of this. Like, he was the artist, you know, because Sunny's character is referred to as artist by the people in Michael's team, basically. Now, KK Menon as a villain, he's good. Like, KK Menon and Shahid's dynamic has been very interesting to me, because I have watched them in Heather as well. Like, if you have watched Heather, the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Like, KK Menon and Shahid have a very interesting quality to their dynamic. Like, it's almost scary and gives you an anxiety to it, but also, like, like, these two can work pretty well. So that was the gist of KK Menon's and Shahid's dynamic. However, it does turn out to be pretty chaotic towards the end when KK Menon loses his peace of mind and Shahid ends up losing his peace of mind eventually. And that was fun. I'm not going to lie, the ending is pretty fun. Like, I was satisfied with the ending. I was like, even if you get a spoiler, because right when I was watching the series I got a spoiler, and the spoiler, which is how it ends, and when I watched it, even after getting the spoiler, it did not change much of anything. I was still excited. It still felt like good, Now, there are a total of 8 episodes in the series. So if you are looking to watch a show that is binge worthy but also not too long, because these are like 40 to 45 minutes of episodes, you can invest in like 2 episodes per day if you just want to chill out and watch. Because this is another important thing for series. Like, if it's too long and too lengthy, I will procrastinate watching those shows, because usually when things are in trend, I don't prefer watching them too much, because it's like everything in trend these days are overhyped. So, but no, if you want to watch, you can, because these are not too long episodes, like 42 to 45 minute episodes, perfect length. 8 episodes all in all. The story pace is good, you won't get bored. Backstory, again, not too much, has been shown in small bits throughout the series, and it ties up pretty well, so you won't be burdened by too much sob story of the characters. It's fine. There is one shot where you can see how both the person chasing and the person being chased have a very similar phase, and they go through very similar motivations behind their actions, and you understand why they are who they are and why they do the things they do, because there is an emotional element to both of them that gets triggered. So that's a good part. You can look out for that and let me know if you do catch it, how it has played out, and if you liked it, and if you like how it has been placed. Apart from that, if you want to compare or get to have like a better idea of what Farzi is like crime thriller shows, it's like if you watched Mirzapur, if you watched Breaking Bad, Sacred Games, Jamtara, the feel of those shows. Yeah, it is kind of like that, but it has a little bit of comic element to it as well. Like, it's a little light as well. There will be some moments where you will laugh out loud and you will understand, and if you relate to the entire fuss about the middle class life of struggle, and how sometimes middle class is the class entirely who is sandwiched between the two other classes of society, you will relate to it pretty well. Like, it has shown that the entire economic division of society is not fair. It's pretty unfair, and you have that, you question that, then why is it the way that is? And the question comes back to it, like, would I have done what Sunny, Shahid's character, does? Like, if I had been an person who was going through his circumstances, and if I could have been as good at painting or drawing or whatever, like creating, if I had been that good, would I have done that? And if I have to answer that question personally, I would say yes, because it feels sometimes it's very unfair how people with so much talent and so much more vigor in their life are not treated as well. They're just facing challenges, and there are some other people who literally do nothing and are fine in their own life. So you understand the character's motives pretty well, and if you relate to it, let me know. Apart from that, is there anything else we need to talk about? Yes, how much would I rate Farzi? I think I wouldn't go as far as to give a personal rating to it, because IMDb has done its job. Like, it has given the perfect rating, a solid 8.6 on 10. It is actually a solid 8.6 on 10. Speaking of the points that have been cut, would be one, because of the entire romance angle was not needed, and secondly maybe because of how expectations would have risen from Raj and DK given Family Man. So I am looking forward to the second season, because if the second season ties up well, then yes, I can say it is a maybe even a 9.5 on 10. Who knows? We'll see. So yeah, that's it for today. It was a very impromptu idea, because currently I'm watching The Night Manager, so look out for that. Maybe I'll review that as well. We'll see. So tell me how it was. Tell me if you like it, and I hope this thing has somehow bettered the audio quality, which I won't know until I stop this video and I check its quality. But consistency, right? So we'll see what we can do, and let us know how you liked Farzi. And if you've not watched Farzi, go watch Farzi. Just, watch good shows, because there aren't many good shows that have come actually recently. So I would encourage you to go watch this show, because it was pretty good. Like, I had fun after a long time watching. Like, I could binge watch it. I know if I had not been busy, I would have. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you have, means a lot. And maybe I'll come up next time with another video, or maybe something else. Who knows? We'll see. Okay. Bye.